Welcome to my channel, my beautiful beings of light. My name is Jeanette and I am a high vibrational being, and I'm back with a message. First, the quote for today: God says the pain will end, the tears will stop, the doors will open, a miracle is approaching. Don't give up. Don't give up. That is their message for today. Don't give up. Keep going. Whatever you're going through, whatever pain, whatever you're going through, it was meant for you to go through it so that way you could release those shadow aspects of yourself and move forward. Move forward. I I am here again. I'm using number cards, alphabets, and the book African Leaders. And I have to say that the first Stephen Biko, who I read, his autobiography was very touching. He died in the hands of his oppressors. He died in the jail. He was beaten because he believed in freeing people's consciousness, helping them raise their consciousness. He was he lived in South Africa, but he was very sought after by those in power, leaders who didn't want people to awaken to who they truly are. Another one of our leaders who spoke and who believe. A true leader leads with compassion, leads with love, leads with understanding, not war. Not war, not anger towards one another, believed in that we are all the same, no matter the color of your skin, no matter where you come from. He said, the most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed, to flourish and thereby give wider range of people the chance to voice opinions, even if some were inarticulate and hesitant at first. Those who lived and learned through the method and took rootness within them into whatever area of the struggle they later found themselves. Binko featured a film called Cry Freedom. So that could be a movie that you could watch. Cry Freedom. I haven't had a chance to look at that movie. I don't have Wi-Fi in my home, so I gotta depend on other resources. So it's a 1987 movie with Donald Woods is the chief editor at the liberal newspaper Daily Dispatch in South Africa. He has written several editorial criticals of the views of Steve Biko, but after having met him, he changes his views and attracts attention from the security police. When Biko dies in police custody, again, he writes a book about Biko. The only way to get it published is for Woods himself to illegally escape the country. Cry Freedom is with Denzel Washington. I think that's Denzel Washington. It looks like Denzel Washington. Doesn't that look like Denzel? I don't know. But free yourself from the oppressors. Free your mind from the oppressors. Stand up for your rights. Don't Don't let these oppressors oppress you. You know, a lot of our leaders have been killed by the hands of authority figures, leaders that do not want you to wake up to who you truly are. Don't be part of your own oppression. That's a quote by Biko to all. The essence is the realization by women of the need to rally together with her sisters around the cause of their oppression and to operate as a group to rid themselves of the shackles that bind them to perpetual servitude. It is based on a self-examination which has ultimately led them to believe that by seeking to run away from themselves, they are insulting the intelligence of whoever created them, women. Running away from God, you're running away from your creator. The philosophy of Black consciousness expresses group pride and the determination to rise and attain the invasive self. Look within yourself. Look who you are. Know who you are. Know that there is no limit to who you truly are. Don't oppress yourself by oppressing your mind, by letting these oppressors oppress you into believing that you're not worthy, because you are. You are. The story of Binko was very touching. He started in college at a very young age, 20. He died at 30. So I'm going to, my next story is Haile Selassie. These are 4 leaders from South Africa. Could be of interest to you. You may want to read upon them. I'm always reading, always reading, because I don't want to oppress my mind. Always want to be, how you say it, on top of everything. God, we all have a mission. We have a purpose. Know your purpose. Know who you are. Don't be a slave to your own mind. Open up your mind. It's the story of many. It's the story of Tupac. It's the story of, it's even my story. It's even my story. Being tracked, being falsely accused because of my belief of my father, because of my belief of wanting to put out into the collective that you are beautiful. Awaken to who you truly are and stop fighting people who are of the divine. Makes no sense. You came from a God, a creator. Men and women, we all came from God. So, stop being tangled up in the web of lies. Unleash yourself. Release yourself from this entanglement of negative thinking. The letter N is very significant. Y, N, New York. Somebody could live in New York. New York City is very significant. New York. M, somebody's a monkey. X, somebody's X is connected here to this reading. This X, the letter G. Somebody may like to go to the gym in New York. Somebody goes to the gym in New York. I can't go to the gym. I have no money for the gym. But I find ways to try to keep myself healthy. The letter C is significant. Somebody's a con man. North Carolina is very significant. The letter Q, the Queen. DC. Somebody could be from Washington, D.C. D.C. is very significant. D.C. Ring of leaders from D.C. The corruption. A CD could be significant. CD. It's very significant. These just wanted to read something. Biko's perception and energy freed people to take their destiny into their own hands. How they will continue to draw on his insight and legacy is up to the new generation. But his memory would best be served by the growth of a broader consciousness that remains wary of mindless authorities, that recognizes that ideas are strengthened through consensus decision-making, which has the capacity to be persuaded by a majority vote, even if it sometimes seems inappropriate, and simultaneously has the ability to then work with that decision, ensuring it sounds. Biko's spirit is far from that, nor is it confined to the movement he inspired, but extends to the wider truth he held and expressed through liberating experience of recognizing that Black consciousness could be the transforming agent of his time. And it's not about the Black consciousness of color. It's learn. It will always be true that the most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Biko's life is to be dug out as a transforming agent wherever oppression is rife. His life force has an antidote to pessimism. Biko was essentially living. He would thoroughly object to becoming a myth locked away in a room of a museum or in the rigid, inappropriate statue of himself in East London. With his intellect, huge presence, and racist laughter, and the no BS thing, he liberated the spirit of those he met. He used every opportunity available, weighing up a situation precisely and swiftly, seeing its limits as much as its potential, understanding how to make it work for the common purpose. Knowing nothing was perfect and that you had to work very hard to transform anything. He worked with potential of individuals, often locked away within them, knowing that without the recognition and subsequent growth of the potential, a nation could not function fully. He worked with whoever came his way. He was not elitist, elitist, okay, in spite of having commenced initially as a student leader from a university. There was no time to waste, and he knew he had to sacrifice his formal education. Later, he sensed that he will have to sacrifice his life. The strength of his particular style of leadership stemmed from the capacity for his astute political insights, coupled with his faith and recognition that anyone could learn, grow, and participate and lead once challenged with meaningful ideas. And from this, he could emerge a meaningful life. I want to read a few more about his story. Black consciousness worked with consensus, decision making. It instilled independent thinking, self-reliance, fearless, and dignity. It had a wider concept, Black power, which connected with both the emergence of Africa's independence from colonial rule and with that other significant struggle for Black liberation. In the United States, in South Africa, Biko and his contemporaries broke the stunned silence of their time. The refusal of a new generation of young Blacks to be subservient or humiliated, even in the face of death, changed the nature of the struggle. Biko himself lived and died by his truth. Just before his death, he was on the verge of meeting leaderships of the ANC and the PAC in exile to discuss the possibility of unifying force. Because leadership and the role of Black consciousness have yet to be truly estimated and cannot be tucked away into small paragraph of history. A key catalyst of transformation, Biko's generation inspired a culture of fearlessness. Don't fear nobody. Don't fear the man. Don't fear government. Don't fear the mayor. Don't fear. Stand up for your rights. Stand up and speak from a space of love on the inhumane way that humans have been treated here. This was made more resolute when the government responded by killing hundreds of young people in the Soweto uprising and its aftermath. Fearlessness is sustained throughout the 1980s when apartheid policies manifested a mounting violence with secret assassination squads and army troops with tear gas and bullets daily in the township. Protests on the grounds escalated with a growing number of MK guerrillas, including many from the BC movement, infiltrated South Africa countrywide. The situation becoming ungovernable and evolving into undeclared civil war. Funerals of Black karates were vast and became political platforms for further resistance. The flags of the banned organizations reemerged in carrying of the coffins. It was indeed the awakening of people whose sheer numbers made the politicians move. Black South Africans never felt inferior again. Black consciousness held the value of not wanting to be rich at the expense of the poor. If we have a mere change in those in government positions, what is likely to happen is that the Black people will continue to be poor, and you will get a few Blacks filtering through the so-called mortgages, and our society will be run almost as of yesterday. Biko said. How then would we view the current growing gap between rich and poor in South Africa's new democracy? What would he do about it? What would he think of the cult of materialism and greed, which we are facing? Not only it happens everywhere, we're facing that right here in our own United States. Trying to oppress us, trying not to let us speak our rights and stand up for injustice, stand up for the poor people, oppressing our channels, oppressing divine beings for not moving to getting homes, housing, money to eat. How dare you? How dare you put this upon our people? and say that you are leaders, that you have taken your leadership to serve your country. You're serving yourself. You're not at service to the people. You're at service. You're greedy. You're not doing the work that you were supposed to do, and you don't need to be in leadership. You don't need to be in leadership. Or the jousting of status, money, and position among South Africans' new elite. The elites are all over. These elites, they don't care about the poor. They feed off of the energy of those who have died, and feed off the energy of those who are pure, who are of God, and you want to take advantage. Anathema to his style of leadership when its failure to deliver to the majority, still imprisoned by the legacy of apartheid, whose youth continue to be undereducated and unemployed. In 1972, Biko ironically suggested that if the I have to research that. Apartheid government was smart and wanted to be reaccepted into the world, it should create a black minority elite, a wealthy middle class, and retain the vast majority in poverty to provide a pool for cheap labor from which to draw. And this close to the scenario emerging today in South Africa after the intense struggle and supreme sacrifices made for freedom and equality. Where would Biko stand today? Would he be inside the tent or outside? It's a question. Where would freedom? We want our freedom. And we are entitled to be free. We want our freedom. And we're going to get our freedom. Freedom and equality for all. Not just one group of people have more than the other. Everybody equally divided. That's God's world. That's God's way. Closing down libraries, closing down things that people could use to educate themselves. You want to take it away from people. One feature of South African society that would undoubtedly claim his attention and dismay him in the prevalence of violence and abuse of women and children. South Africa's RAPE statistic being one of the highest in the world. Stark negations of group pride and determination to rise and attain the invasive self. It's all about the women and the children, taking their power away. That's what you want to do. But we are not going to let you do that. We're going to stand up and we're going to speak up against all the cruelty that you have done. Every cruel act that you have done and committed against people's lives, it will continue to be spread and delivered to the collective. I will not stop. I will continue to voice myself for the injustice that you have caused on my life, for the injustice that you have caused on my family's life, for the injustice that you have caused on many, many of God's children's life. You took an innocent man's life away. Took many lives away. You took many of our leaders that have tried to make changes for the good. You take try to take their their visions away. You don't want nobody to be more powerful. Nobody want to be powerful than you. We just want to be all the same. Nobody should have any more than the other. It's just every time God helps picks me a book, I'm reading the same. Even in Prodigy, I'm reading the same issue. People of color have died for voicing themselves, for the injustice that they have caused on people's lives, for the banning of their creative leadership ways to deliver the messages. I wanted to research because I don't know all the keywords but I always research. Apart, apart, apartheid, apartheid. Apartheid refers to the implement, implementation and maintenance of a system of legalized racial segregation in which one racial group is deprived of political and civil rights. I could talk about me. I've been deprived of my political and civil rights. My channel has been suppressed. My home has been placed cameras, military following, poisoning, stalking, attempted murder. But I know who I am. And it stops here. It stops here. This is a life still to be dug out. Barney Patania was still in prison on September 12th, the day Binko died, and was not told of his death. That night he had a dream. He dreamt that he had this enormous discussion with Steve, where he was saying more or less, I'm leaving. You must look after my children. And I saying, it's not my business to look after your children. You must do something responsible. Binko went on insisting in a friendly sort of way until Pitanya reluctantly agreed. That was his friend. That all right, if he had to go somewhere, he and Barney will look after his children. The next day, Pitanya was allowed to have a shower. He was imprisoned as well. Something not allowed before. And this white boy was reading the newspaper, and I managed to see the newspaper, a statement by Kruger. I would otherwise never have known. And then suddenly this sort of funny discussion I was having in the middle of the night came back. I was in a very, very lonely state in that cell. I was absolutely distraught, angry, and much more. I was S. He wanted to take his life. This was Binko's friend who was also imprisoned, beaten. It was the fire that went out. Rampelli looked out the window as she spoke. When Tejaway phoned me on September 13, I was in the hospital. When I heard everything went dead, I literally wondered if I could walk across the room, if I could survive physically. Everything was dead. Manfella Rompele was banished, isolated in Lenyene, far in the north. These are lands in Africa. Far in the north, in the hospital, trying to save the life of her unborn child, Binko's child. Biko's funeral took place on September 25th at the King Williamstown Stadium. Oxen drew the coffin until it was lifted and held shoulder high at his camaraderies, an impulsive gesture which was to become the hallmark of many funerals of camaraderies to come. The only visible presence of the state was one soldier seen on a high tower above the crowd. Otherwise, the police was not present. They were not present because they were responsible for the death of Biko and many others. But as Makifa Galana explains, they were present elsewhere. Most Natalians missed Stephen's funeral, the result of police action in turning the cars and buses carrying mourners back on the Kenyan border. But I did not miss the symbolism that such burial carried. Those who attended the funerals and all those who have died in detention must have gone to these funerals with an inner understanding that a scratch of a black man is a scratch of every black man. And the death in the detention in one center is the death in the detention in all over the country. When we heard that Steve was dead, many of us have said deep down in our minds, if the time must come, let it be now. Let it be now. Blinko knew that it had already begun. The youth of Soweto, of Natal, of Eastern Cape, of Lagana, Yigana, I don't know how to say these words, of Africa. The youth of the whole country had understood that. As Binko explained, the dramatic thing about the bravery of these youth is that they have now discovered or accepted that everybody knows that the bond between life and death is absolute. You are either alive and proud of, or you are dead. And when you're dead, you can't care. You don't care anyway. And your method of death can itself be a politicalizing thing. So you die in the riots. For a hell of a lot of them in the fact that's really nothing to lose. Most literally, given the kind of situation they came from. So if you have overcome personal fear for death, which is highly irrational thing, then you are on your way. Binko's mother understood this too. In the truth, he was my child. He was the son of the people. I have come to understand that I must comfort myself and accept that truth. That this child was not my child. Moreover, there are many children of other people who have gone before Steve. When a battle is fought, not all the soldiers come back home. It is God's will in which this whole thing happened. After such long time, his life is still being dug out, accepting that I have a humble view of myself as a person from whom he comes. Biko foresaw his death in the nature of what he was doing, and he was prepared to die. Thus, along with many others, he became a matriarch in the struggle for the freedom in South Africa. He fulfilled his own concept of obedience to God, which was, and as he explained, that at the heart of the conviction of most selfless revolutionaries, a call to man of conscience to offer themselves and sometimes live their life for the eradication of evil. Biko was only 30 when he died. In the slow and torturous manner of his death, he endured a kind of crucifixion, chained and unable to move, his feet in irons hooked into the wall, with people always watching. After suffering a blow to his head so severe that it gradually determined his mind and consciousness, his capacity to function as a human being, he was, after 5 days, declared fit enough to be driven naked in the back of a Land Rover, 1133 kilometers overnight. Yet on the arrival to Pretoria, he was still not dead. He died alone shortly after. In his own words, his method of death was indeed a politicalizing thing. It woke up the world to the true nature of apartheid and accelerated commitment to fight for change in all forms, inside and outside South Africa. Dying young, Biko left a life of such promise in the air, so to speak, of those who knew him at the time. Mapwana said, we all, each individually, experienced it. You can't replace the catalyst that he was. None of the people were related to that, were related to where that to you. And yet, he didn't get you. He was best not making you grovel with gratitude. He couldn't have another Steve. We couldn't have another Steve. Donald Woods, in his exuberant style, said that he was simply the greatest man I've ever met. Leen van den Braw, a Dutch lawyer, was a member of the resistance of the Second World War and experienced imprisonment at Dachau, met him only once and saw him as the qualities of a man who he would expect to become the leader of the government. Some of his political critics then were less impressed. In the African communists, for example, Biko was accused of being a liberal, an idealist, insufficiently anti-capitalist, Pacifics, and lacking an understanding of the mass struggle. But in recent radio interview, Kettibone Monlema said Biko took people out of an ethnic identity and allowed us to have another. That was the I don't know how to say this word. Galvashing, I don't know. Biko had a clear insight of the psychological aspect of the oppression of his time, which had resulted in momentary political impotence. As politics was rationalized by apartheid, the movement was called Black Consciousness. His message was simple and clear. Don't be part of your own oppression. It was crucial. It was a crucial intervention, a fresh, youthful, distinctive voice that mobilized people when all the major political oppositions was banned, their leaders in exile or in jail. It provided a new vital unifying element, giving the ANC, as Wally Sarati say, oxygen and new life. The movement desperately needed. People are killing, governments are killing innocent people, police are killing innocent people because of their, they don't want them to, they don't want us to speak our rights. They don't want us to speak the truth. KKK, very significant. KKK is very significant. J. It's a lot of X's here. The Queen. S. T. A lot of fake tarot card readers too. A lot of fake tarot card readers say they're divine beings and they're not. And they're putting out the same messages that the divine beings is putting out in different ways. Okay? Taking the ideas of divine beings. They're not even connected to the Most High Spirit. San Francisco is very significant. Putting out fake messages. A lot of E. Egyptian goddesses. They want to be Egyptian goddesses. They never would call all that until divine beings started to put out messages from Egypt. Ancestors. Nobody knew who these, who our ancestors were. They don't tap into that energy. They're not allowed to. There's a detective here. There's a detective here. There's a detective. His name could be Ted. Something about Ted. There's a Ted Bundy out here. You know who's Ted Bundy, right? Crimes against humanity. And they try to keep it secret. Somebody could be from San Francisco, California. San Francisco, California could be significant. Africa. South Africa. South Africa is here. Somebody could travel to South Africa. I know somebody who traveled to South Africa. He's part of a cult. Part of a cult. Part of an injustice on my life, on my children's life. There is forgiveness, but you gotta speak up. You gotta speak up. You gotta speak the truth. You gotta speak up what you did. Somebody try to do something on somebody's DNA. I've been getting that a lot. DNA. Been getting that a lot. Something about somebody's DNA. It's very significant. Somebody took somebody's house. Somebody tried to switch somebody's DNA is being tested. Somebody's DNA could be about a child too. Somebody's DNA could be testing on a crime that was committed. Race is very significant. Race. Somebody's racist. Somebody's racist here. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter who you are. We got to love one another. We are all the same. We all came from one consciousness. People don't get it. We came from one creator. One creator, one God. Nobody is more powerful than the divine God. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. We need to go through the dark to get to the light. Plain and simple. The injustice that has been caused on many leaders and many people who try to deliver the messages to the oppressed, to the collective, was taken down by militaries. Same thing. Every single day. I saw a dead rat caught in front of a business. Somebody's business. Somebody owes a business. Somebody was in the business of sacrificing. Sacrificing. Jesus is here. Jesus was here. Jesus was sacrificed. Those who don't believe in Jesus is Buddha, whatever you call, they were messengers. They were God's children giving you the message to connect to who you truly are. Go back to where you come from. Go back home. Go back to God. You're a limitless being. You're a limitless being. Don't limit your mind. Don't limit your thoughts. Be open and expand. Learn. Free yourself from that enslavement consciousness, from the programmings that have been implanted. You could free yourself. Nas is here. Nas is very significant. I haven't finished Prodigy, but he had a lot of things to say about a lot of members in the business. Food stamps, something about food stamps. Somebody uses dope. D-O-P-E. We used to call Mary Jane D-O-P-E. A dope, you know, you dope, you slang word. Slang word. A doctor. Something about a doctor. Doctor is corrupted. There's a corrupted doctor. What else? There's a corrupted doctor. Letter I. Somebody's gonna yeah, I saw a dead rat. I saw a dead rat. Somebody put out a death spell on someone. Somebody's a dead rat. And somebody's pissed because they're a dead rat. Somebody's ID is significant. Make sure you have your ID. They doing identity theft. They done identity theft. They done it on me. They done everything in my life. Every little thing. I don't know what else they haven't done. But every little thing has been done to my life. And I'm still here. And I'm still with the Most High God. Somebody needs a gynecologist. Somebody needs to go to the gynecologist. Something about somebody's hygiene. Somebody's hygiene is not balanced. Somebody could be pregnant. Somebody's name is Cortez. Cortez. Somebody has court. Cortez. Something by the sea. Something's in the water. Somebody may need an IP pen. You know, the pens that somebody has an allergic. They need an emergency IP pen. Divine Masculine is here. Somebody's Leo. This Leo keeps coming out. There's an Aries. There's Aries here. Somebody's urine. I don't know, something about somebody's urine. They have to go. Somebody has a smelly odor. Fish. Somebody has an odor. They need to see the doctor. How long I've been here? Okay. Somebody needs to see the doctor. Somebody has a fishy smell. Fishy. pH balance is off. Somebody's pH balance is off. Could be somebody's wound. I don't know. There's going to be a raid. Somebody's home is going to get raided. It's going to get raided by the feds. Somebody's home, somebody's work going to get raided by the feds. Something about laptops. Laptops. Somebody has a laptop with a lot of pictures. Can't erase those pictures. You know, the feds could go into they could easily pull up those pictures. There's a captain here. Could be a captain of the police department, captain of the military. There's a captain here. Navy, Marines, captain of a ring. Red rum. You know what's red rum, right? Backwards, right? Red rum. Red rum. Some red rum. Somebody did red rum. Committed red rum. Injustice. Committed injustice. I don't like injustice. I really don't like, I don't like liars. I don't like liars. Be honest. Be truthful. Doesn't matter. Hurting people. Stealing. 7 deadly sins. Somebody's a nurse. Somebody's a nurse. Somebody's a nurse. I brought a deck of cards. I said, let me just use this one time. Let's see. They're tarot cards. Let's see. What spirit, ancestors, guides of the highest white light. Talk to me about this corruption, these groups. Oof. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is over. It's an ending. Juggling too much. Infinity. Messages. Ooh. Somebody here spying on the High Priestess at this moment. Worked very hard to do a lot of magic. Do a lot of spells. Was greedy with the pentacle. But look, there's a crow right over that person's head. Been hearing lots of crows. Moving forward. Strength, Leo energy, infinite abundance. See all your deceits. See this High Priestess sees everything and everyone, okay? They know who's spying, okay? There's someone who is very childish, that likes to spy on the high priestess and have worked very hard to try to end her life. They thought they was going to celebrate. It's no celebration. There's water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Air energy, Libra, Pisces, Gemini. You have all the signs here. It doesn't matter. They're all here. Everybody to participate it. Okay? Try to participate in somebody's ending, but they're going to have a family. They're going to be happy. They're moving forward. Somebody can't sleep at night because somebody's moving forward. Their cups are fulfilled and they're walking away from all this, very connected to the water elements. Could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, of high vibration. Of high vibration because we do have the dolphin here. High vibration. Somebody can't sleep, having all these nightmares of all the swords that they put on divine beings. Having a happy life, happy family. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, God is making sure their destiny is fulfilled. Anything else? Thieves try to get away. Very passionate about it. Could be a family member here. Very passionate. Very passionate. People try to get away with and murking people. But nothing is a secret. Nothing is hidden. When you connect with energy, you connect with the moon, the stars, the water, and the air. All elements. High priestess energy. Okay? Two-pawn is here. Somebody's name is Justin. Justin is significant. Justin, R-A-P-E. Secrets are being revealed. S-E-X. Be careful. Somebody lives in the projects, the PJs. Somebody could live in the PJs. Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Department of Homeland Security is here. Going to capture these snakes. These snakes are going to be captured. Department of Homeless Services is going to be captured. Somebody's going to have a raid in their house. Somebody's name is Jim. Jim is significant. Somebody's name IG is significant. Instagram. The dark web. The dark web. The dark web is very significant. Nobody has no consent. Somebody's going to be in the ICU. The ICU. Somebody's going to... Shaq is significant. Shaq. Basketball player. Shaq. Find out. Shaq. Something about Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal. They used to call him Shaq, right? Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal, right? Ooh, see? CCTV. Okay. It's a lot of, how you say, viewing cameras all over. There's CCTV all over. Okay? So if whoever is following whoever, there's cameras following those followers that are following divine beings. Everything is caught on camera. Everything's caught on camera. There's cameras all over. People fail to know that there's cameras all over. Doesn't matter where you go, there's cameras all over. Your secrets cannot be hidden no more. Somebody thought they got away. You're not. You're not. And I'm going to end the meeting. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a good, I'll probably be back this evening. I have another session, so let's see what happens this evening when I come back on, if I come back on. Sip in air without rushing towards the future. The present is worth enjoying. Stay in the here and now. Don't compare yourself to others. Smile and be content with your own natural beauty. Be content with your own natural beauty, okay? You don't have to fake the funk. Your glass is always refilled. Flow like water instead of holding on to perception. Let it go. Just float. Float on, float on, float on. Oh my God, this butterfly. Discard any fears of success and be willing to offer more than is expected. I love you guys. Have a good afternoon, good evening. I see you later. Namaste. Bye. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to donate to my channel, it's $BELIEVE 201. That's my Cash App. Love you. Bye.